Okay. Jody and Eva, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
All right, very good. Excellent. So people who are joining, welcome, and make yourself comfortable, right? And this is not a formal webinar. There are a lot of stuff I will be talking about, but in the meantime, while we wait for everybody to join, why don't you just go grab a cup of coffee or a tea or relax a little bit, okay? This is just a casual presentation, right? So Eva, how are you doing?
Things are okay. You know, just another crazy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Oh, it is.
And Jody, and you?
Yeah, it's good. Today's my dad's birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday to your dad!
Yeah, we bought a cake this morning. Yeah.
Okay, very, very good. So are you guys, well, now it's the social distancing. So are you guys going out to eat at all?
Yeah, we're just staying home, ordering in.
Okay, very good. So for everybody who just joined, like I said, welcome. And it's going to be a very casual conversation. I have a very decent slides to share with everybody. But in the meantime, before we get started, please go grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, you know, and just sit back and relax and enjoy, all right? I actually have a solid presentation for everybody. So I want to give it another 30 seconds, if that's okay with you. Okay. And say hi. So you can say hi on chat. So we actually have a chat and also we have a Q&A. You can use either one of them. Feel free, by the way, but say hi. Just go ahead and say hi to everybody. If you can, that'll be good. Cool, cool. And by the way, Eva and Jody's are online. I will be presenting, but they will be moderating. And if you have any specific questions, just enter that into chat or Q&A. They will see it. And if the timing is right or if it's appropriate during my conversation, and they will inject your question. Otherwise, if I don't get a chance to share or answer your question, don't worry about it. I will tell you in terms of how you can reach out to me, and then we can carry the conversation forward, okay? Very good. Okay, we're gonna get started. Am I too loud, Eva and Jody? Oh, it's good.
It's good.
All right, great. So for today, what I really want to talk about is how to deliver online presentation to senior manager like a rock star. And initially, when I created this specific webinar, I was really thinking about how to deliver presentation in general. But now with the current situation, if you have to deliver online presentations, what are some of the key points that you should pay attention to? So I changed my presentation focus a little bit and try to share some of the tips and tricks from my perspective that's actually good, that you can actually apply for a better and effective online presentation. So let's get started. Welcome. I invited, okay, Robert Downey Jr. to welcome you. Seriously, all right. And he's doing a fantastic job. Well, if you are interested, actually come to a next webinar. I have another guest I'm going to share with you, right? She is fantastic. You'll love her to welcome you. In the meantime, my name is Pam Didner, and many of you actually attended my webinar in the past, so welcome back. If you are new to this webinar or even to me, just want to share with you, I wrote 3 books: Global Content Marketing, Effective Sales Enablement, and The Modern AI Marketers. I'm a B2B marketer through and through, as you can tell. I'm kind of wearing a boring outfit. That seems to be the sign of a B2B marketer. No offense. I love B2B marketers, you guys, very much. In the meantime, my job is basically working very closely with the marketing team on the digital transformation or even anything that's a sales and marketing alignment through content marketing, account-based marketing, or sales enablement. And I usually help my clients through one-on-one coaching, workshop and training, or even help them to actually take down any kind of process or even collaborations, consulting projects, okay? So quickly about me. And this is our 5th webinar. We've been doing it once every month. And I created what I call it Think Strategically series, starting with Made in terms of how you can change your marketing plan again, you know, in the midst of COVID-19, and down to how do you create your marketing plan. There are several key elements that you should include until today, how to deliver online presentation to senior managers. The next one, which is August 6th, is really how to sharpen your strategic thinking skills. And a lot of people already reaching out to me and say, what do you mean by strategic thinking? Well, come to my webinars and find out. And you can register on my website /webinars. You can't miss it. Okay, so register there and we can talk more. We are in the process thinking about what are the specific topics that I can talk about for September, October, and November. So if you have a specific challenge or specific topic that you would like me to address, no problem. Submit that to Chad. Our team will review that and will determine, you know, which one we should go with. So if your minds are thinking and racing right now about certain topics that you want me to talk about, I'm not saying I can talk about all the topics in digital marketing, but I can touch a good chunk of it, and also dive into the know-how. So talk to me and share on chat in terms of the topics that you want to see. And so Jody and Eva, if anybody is typing that information, make sure we capture that and we have internal team discussion afterwards, okay? All right, for today, online presentation to your senior managers. There are 3 things I want to talk about, 3. One is content, which is the presentation of itself. Second is your communication style. Third is the surrounding, the view of the workspace on webcam, which is the frame, right? The view of your workspace. These are the 3 things I want to talk about. Content, you, surrounding. The key out of this whole thing in terms of presenting to online presentation to your managers or senior executive, the bottom line is content is king. Oh, another thing I want to share with you before I was thinking about to talk about before I started and I forgot. This whole presentation is more tailored for B2B marketers, and especially if you are working in a company that's kind of mid-sized, growing, or enterprises. That means you don't have a personal relationship to the senior executive. They don't know you very well, and you don't know them very well. And because of that, what can you do to get yourself noticed? Does that make sense? So if you are working in a small company and you know your senior executives incredibly well, you probably don't have to follow this formal presentation type of approach. But however, it still can give you some pointers how you can do better in terms of your presentation. So I just want to make sure everybody understand in terms of when I created this presentation, I targeted for B2B marketers, especially for the growing or mid-size and a global enterprise. That there's a lot of senior executive that you have to talk or present to, and what would be the best way to do it. Okay. Content is still the king. And your presentation should have 3 parts, or I call it 3 acts. The opening, the middle, and the end. Okay? So when I say that, you're like, oh, you know, you are talking about the presentation like storytelling. Well, yes and no. But let's watch a little movie clip. All right, pay attention, everyone.
So what did you do this week?
What I normally do,
Reading?
mostly.
And how many books did you read?
17.
And does reading 17 books in 1 week seem normal to you?
No, of course it's not normal. I mean, Does skipping 3 grades of school seem normal? Does going to Harvard at the age of 14 seem normal? I'm clearly not normal. I thought we'd established that was the problem.
Carrie, I want you to do something for me.
What?
You and I are going to come up with a list of goals you're going to achieve between now and the end of the year. So for our next session, I want you to think about some of the things you'd like to have on that list. Things you've done in your life and enjoyed.
What kind of things do you expect me to put on this list?
Okay, this is the movie I think was out in 2016. It's called Carrie Pilby. Of course, it's not like a popular movie like, you know, Iron Man, but that whole scene, it's literally the first 5 minutes or first 3 minutes of the movie. Right there in the very beginning, you know Carrie is angry, is not normal, super intelligent, geeky, doesn't have a life, right? Through the conversation, you got that clues right away. At the same time, another things that you get is, okay, the whole movie is really about for her to achieve her list, right? So that was set in the very beginning. You got a very clear understanding of it. Then obviously the whole movie, moving forward, it's about that list. That's exactly what you need to do for your presentation to senior executive. You need to have a good opening, right? The good opening doesn't mean like, oh my God, you need to have a music. You need to have the emoji. None of that. It set clear expectation up front. What you want to talk about and why it's important. Does that make sense? Everybody, good? I cannot hear you, but you can send the feedback on chat and say, good, Pam. Right. Okay, so set that aside for a second. Why do you usually present to senior managers, especially in the mid-sized growing or even global enterprises? You tend to present because of the following 3 reasons or the scenario that you have to, you know, deal with. The first one is they want to know some sort of research findings or some sort of trends, okay? Because you presented the big picture, right? The mega trends that should shape the future planning. The other one is you want to pitch the ideas to get some headcounts, to get some budget. You want to get some sort of approval. That's very topic driven. The third is you actually want to provide some sort of initiative updates. You have a big initiative. You want to migrate, you know, from, I don't know, some sort of CRM to a Salesforce, for example. It's a big initiative, huge investment for the company. You want to provide certain type of updates. That's project progress. In general, I'm not saying that they are, you know, other situation, of course they are, but these are the 3 very popular reasons why you present to senior managers. So let's talk each one of them, what the opening should be. Okay, I show you the movie clips. Let's talk about the opening of these 3 scenarios. Number 1, because you are talking about the research finding or survey finding or mega trends, for example, right? When you do that, what do we usually do when we do presentations? Like, for example, I did the global customer surveys for clients. The first things I want to do is, okay, let's talk about the bullet point. Let's write down a couple of things, all right? So you created a slide like this. Then if a senior executives look at that and say, oh my God, so many words, really? It's so hard to read. I get it. So right here, I talk about budget priority of my customers has changed. Therefore, I need to focus, you know, different product line. That's my finding. I talk about, hey, the messaging work that we have usually work for mature countries, but you know what? Not so well on the emerging countries. All right. By the way, 99% of our target customers can read English very well. Okay. So it works well for cross mature and emerging countries, but we still need to be very strategic about our content translation. Oh, another thing I want to call out, ooh, not good. Only 60% of our customers are satisfied with our call center support. Oops, right? But how to show this piece of, how to show all this information in a more structured way as an opening. Here, this is another way. You categorize your information the way that they understand, right? Senior executive, they think by department, they think by key initiative, they think by, by budget, for example. Like what is there in their mind and how do they categorize the information, right? For this, they probably want to categorize when you do this survey, what is the impact on our sales sites? What is the impact on our marketing? What's the impact on our customer services? All of a sudden, what I did is I break down this information right here, which is a bunch of bullet points, into 3 categories. So when they are looking at this specific slide from here, they say, oh, sales, oh, marketing, oh, customer service. Okay, fine, good. Now talk to me more, right? So this is what I call a 3-column approach, right? 3 different columns of information. It's very easy for you to categorize it. And they don't even have to read all the bullet points. They just focus on sales and marketing and customer service. Immediately they know, all right, the survey findings you're going to talk to me about is the impact to sales, impact to marketing, impact to customer service. Is that helpful? That should be the opening. Very clear. Just like Carrie Pilby's movie, very beginning, it's going to work on her list. All right, what about topic centric? Right, let's talk about the global customer survey. Why do we do a global customer surveys? That's because we want to drive a 100% customer satisfaction initiative, right? So let's assume that's your approach. All of a sudden, you want to talk about how do we make that happen, over say 2 or 3 years. So there's a bunch of team members are working through this, and you are doing a presentation to your senior management, right? So you want to align them, give them kind of like a little bit of background. What is the roadmap? What is the org chart that needs to change? So this is much bigger type of scope. Again, even with the bigger type of scope, you can structure it kind of like storytelling, right? So right here, you want to talk about approach. How did you get to the recommendation? They need to understand that because they want like, hey, have you thought about that? Have you thought about this? Right? So you want to talk about your approach to address some of their questions in the back of their minds. Then you talk about your roadmap. Then you talk about your org chart's recommendation. That's also another opening. This one is more kind of like in sequential order. What have I done in the past? What is the recommendation right now? And what else needs to be changed? Okay. So again, 3-column approach, but you focus on different categories, right? So far so good. Everybody good? Can you just like comment very quickly on the chat and say the speed is good? And also like I'm doing a good job? I cannot see your comments anyway. So Jody and Eva, everybody is okay on the same pace? Okay.
Everyone, very good. It's all clear. You're doing great.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Jody. So with that being said, what is the opening for the project progress? If you want to give everybody a quick update, what would that look like, right? You have to connect the dots, right? Just like her, just like this lady is saying, I cannot remember her name. I think she was one of the superheroes, right, Jody?
Yeah.
Thank you. Love her. All right, connect the dots. So your first slide, if you are doing any initiative updates, you should start with the top 5 corporate initiatives. This is how the senior executive structure their thinking, right? They are thinking about, hey, how much money is going to spend, what kind of big projects I'm doing, by department, how are we doing? So they're always thinking about this type of thing, this type of I'm gonna say crap. Oh my God. This type of priorities, if you will. So you started with the corporate imperatives, right? What are the key things the company is working on, or your division? If your company is Microsoft, that's huge, right? But you support a specific business unit. For that specific business unit, what are some of the key initiatives they have to do? For example, maybe they want to ramp a specific product in certain segments, in certain countries. They want to expand the Salesforce.com to all the sales team worldwide. They want to win additional 50 new accounts. They want to launch this new product worldwide, okay? Or they want to redesign and relaunch the new channel partner program. But whatever that is, you need to have a clue, right? What is the top corporate initiative? Because you are connecting the dots. Then let's assume the stuff or the project that you are working on is related to a launch product. The next things that you want to show as an opening is the high-level product launch timeline. Boom, right there. You give senior executive a very high-level 64,000-foot view. All right, today I want to talk about product launch, and it's one of our corporate initiative, right? And now the next slide is, let me show you the timeline. This is what we've been working on in the past 8 months. And this is 12 months timeline, so the executive can get a sense of it. Does that make sense? Then you dive into detail. As of today, July 22nd, what have we been doing in the past 7 months? Show them the timeline, align their thinking, and then you go into a detail. Is that helpful? All right. So that's the opening. Now, let's talk about the middle part.
You and I are going to come up with a list of goals you're going to achieve between now and the end of the year.
Is this a bucket list? I do not have the emotional maturity to deal with a terminal friend.
We can't accept returns.
What are you doing? Be free!
Right now, engaged and confused.
You're much more beautiful than I had expected.
Fascinating, Gary Philby. I find you completely enchanting.
You and I are going to come up with a list of goals you're going to achieve.
Okay. So that's the middle part of Carrie Pilby's list, right? So now, spoiler alert, there are 3 things, actually there are more. There are a couple of things that she needs to achieve. She needs to make a friend. Obviously, she doesn't have a friend. Pathetic. She needs to get a pet because she doesn't know how to show to love something or somebody. And then she needs to get on a date, right? And blah, blah, blah. Then the whole movie, especially the middle part, the juxtaposed, basically the list of the activity that she needs to do. So sometimes she talk about, how she make a friend, which is running to her barriers, and then talking about how she got a pet, how she got the pet, and what happened to the pet, blah, blah, blah. So in the middle part of it, if in the movie set or in the movie storytelling, they will move things around, they will mix things so that you will follow the storylines. But the storyline is there. It's the list, right? Make a friend, get a pet, get on a date. It's however you want to do the creative direction, how to move the things, how to do the edit. That's the secret of telling a good story. But we don't have to make that complicated for our presentation. Once we know our list, the next thing is we structure logically, and then we tell that list one by one. There's no reasons to juxtapose actually for the senior executive presentation. Maybe you can if you are very, very good, but if you structure it in a way, then the next things in the middle part is much easier to follow because you have a framework in place. Okay, now let's talk about the middle part. Remember I talked about the global customer survey? You created this opening slide, right? You get up, you tell them, give them a little quick story, and you want to talk about the findings. And you structure the finding in this way before you move to the middle, right? How does your first part of the middle look like, right? Again, it's kind of like a peel the onion type of approach. You structure it Now you move it down to a next level. But again, it's about categorizing the information the way they understand, okay? Just remember, when you present to senior executive, it's not about what you want to say. Oh, I want to get budget. That's what I want to say. No, it's not about what you want to say. It's really about what you want to say in the context of what they understand. Does that make sense? You need to say in a way they understand. And they understand is by departments, by initiatives, by budget, or probably something else. But you need to understand what that is. So the next things, if I structure it this way, the next thing I want to do is I want to do a table. Kind of like I said, peel the onion, right? So I talk about the customer budget, right? Outlook. They care about this right away because the senior manager wants to know if the customer has a budget to buy our products. So I basically say, oh, you know what? Many of them said the budget is going to be flat. Okay, that's one piece of information they want to know. And they also tell us the budget will be focused on remote work infrastructure, collaboration and communication tools, and the secure online cloud workspace. Once you said that, immediately the senior executive will say, all right, what kind of product can we sell, right? Okay, feedback on our sales team. That's one thing they care. Is our sales team do very well? Okay, at this time, you know what? Many people actually like our sales team. Oh, good, right? So, but there are a couple things. Many of them complain about our key product features, such as the integration with Salesforce.com is still lacking. Okay, that's an issue. The senior executive probably know that, but you have to just remind them again. They probably heard this before, but you say, hey, you know what? Just want to let you know it's very consistent with our finding in the past, right? So you can see right here from sales, marketing, and the customer services, I break down even more. I break down to the budget, I break down to the sales, I break down to the marketing, its messaging, content, and also call center. Once you have this, boom, your middle is set. This is your Carrie Pilby's list. Then the next things that you can talk about is leads to a key survey questions related to each one of them, and you share the results. Now you go into a little bit detail, and then based on that, you provide a recommendation and next steps, right? So that's the middle, right? Again, it's about how you structure your information in a way that they can relate. For the topic, same thing, slightly different. Remember I talked about if I'm doing a huge multi-year project, it's very complicated and touch on multiple divisions. And it's very hard to put this kind of deck together. I understand, done it before. I feel your pain and the frustration. Again, right here, because I structure in the very beginning, the approach, the 3-year roadmap, the org chart recommendation, then I talk about a little bit detail. Right here, the approach, collaborate and build. So I have some keywords that they can immediately go to. You know, we build a strong collaborations with the sales and marketing to complete the survey. Okay, that's good, right? We build a robust customer feedback process for continuous improvement. Okay, so out of this approach, there's a couple of things we do, and here's some takeaway. All right, 3 years, integrate and expand. Use a couple of the action verb to kind of identify and crystallize what are some of the key points that you want to talk in the middle part, which is the meat of your presentation. Org chart recommendation, focus, monitor, right? So right here, even though it's very wordy, but I have the approach, 3-year roadmap, and org chart, and then I take it down to a next level, collaborate, build, integrate, expand, focus, monitor, then get down to another level. Does that make sense? Then from here, because you structure this way, then the middle part comes a whole lot easier. Then there's a couple things I want to talk about because I talk about approach and a 3-year roadmap and the org chart recommendation, right? On the approach, this is what my beginning of my middle part. I talk about, hey, we took a very holistic approach, right? Very holistic. in terms of covering all the missing pieces and tie everything together. We did external research, we did internal analysis. External, internal, right? We did a trend analysis, we did a competitive analysis, the industry trends, best practice, we checked them out. On the internal analysis, we talked to different internal stakeholders, we look at our annual plans, we look at our current process, we cover all the pieces, but you don't have to go into detail. This holistic approach doesn't need to be like 20 slides. You should do it in 3 slides or 4 slides and basically say, we cover everything. Then you just point out a couple key points, then you move on to the recommendation because that's what they care about the most, which is the 3-year roadmap right here, right? All right, then you're like, Pam, oh, 3-year roadmap, that's hard. I know, but how do you structure that in a way that your senior executives can understand? I do this. I have come to realize, and this is like after multiple kind of like a trial and error with managers, with my senior manager, when I want to show a 3-year roadmap, I really want to show 3-year roadmap, okay? So I was looking to, you know, for 2020, what are we doing is there's a theme related to that. For a pilot, okay, for 2021, is there's a theme related to that. And for 2022, is that their theme? So you identify a specific theme at a very strategic level for every single year. And then if you are working with the marketing, sales, IT, or customer services to do this, you know, to launch this specific initiative, what are some of the key milestones that you can put it right here? And it's not detailed, but yet it's not too high level. Does that make sense? So when I'm looking at 3-year roadmap, I tend to do it this way, and it has worked fairly well. Then this is also a way to drive a good conversation with your executive. They will look at this and they will start asking questions, right? And then you have that very meaningful conversation back and forth. So that is the template. Project progress, all right? That's another thing I want to share with you, okay? Obviously, we talk about, you started with a slide to align everybody and say, hey, the stuff I'm working on is very important to you, senior executive, because it's one of your corporate initiatives, all right? So you put that as a reminder. Then you come here, identify which one you are working on. Remember I told you about the timeline? Yeah? Then the middle part is easier because you can do a cutoff. As of today, July 22nd, the cutoff is at the end of July, right? Once you do that cutoff, then you have an option. Then you have an option to talk about the past, present, and the future. So when you do any updates, you need to think the past, present, and the future. And how do you do that? You can talk about it, you know, by months, every single month, what have we accomplished? Or you can talk about it by a specific milestones. What are some of the milestones and what are the highlights and lowlights of those milestones, right? It comes to, or you can talk about it by departments. Marketing has been doing this, blah, 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 blah. Sales has been doing this, blah, 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 blah. You know, product team has been doing this, blah, 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 right? All of a sudden, you structure the information in the middle part of your presentation by departments, which that works too, or you can talk about by budget. So once you structure the information, then you categorize it in the way that they can understand. Does that make sense? There are many ways you can talk about, say, a project updates. Okay. Cool. Now let's talk about the end. Right. So there's another movie I want you to watch.
I just came to let you know that my dad and I made up.
I'm very glad.
And then, okay, he helped me to get this back.
Franny and Zoe. And as we often say in my profession, how did that make you feel?
Like, maybe I should finish that silly or not so silly list that I threw in your general direction.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that,
You saved it.
just in case.
I have a photographic memory, remember? Thank you. So what are you going to do about Mrs. Rubin?
I don't know. Contrary to what the degrees on the wall may imply, I don't have all the answers.
I wouldn't trust anyone who thought that they did. Maybe you need to make her a list. 5 ways to leave a husband.
You know, subtypes. You really remind me of your mother.
Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment.
Compliment intended. You are allowed to be happy, Carrie. You know that, don't you? Your mom would want that for you.
All right, it's so nice. Anyway, one thing I want to share with you, okay? When I was thinking about doing this presentation, and I was thinking, okay, how do I do this presentation that all of you can understand? And the way I feel that I can do it is actually through probably a couple of movie clips. So I went through probably 10 movies, to be honest. And I want to see which one actually can tell the story of the opening, middle, and the end. This is probably not the best film, but it's the best way to show you in terms of the opening, the middle, and also the end. By the way, that's not spoiler alert. That's like literally, you know, after that clip, there's another 15 minutes of the movie to the end. Okay, so don't feel that, hey, Pam, seriously, I want to watch that film. I was like, no, that's not the end of it. But you kind of know that, you know, she's working on the list and there's a couple of things that she still needs to do. And I want to share with you, when I was looking at that movie, I was like, oh my God, this is a movie, right? And how do I cut it in 3 clips that I can share with you? Because I don't want to show the whole movie. And the plus movie is tend to be IP protected. And how can I download that and also trim them? So I talked to my video editor, and you should know him if you are looking to find somebody to edit your video. His name is Scott Scorecroft. And Scott, if you're online, say hi to everybody. And he found a way to actually download this movie from Netflix and then cut it into these 3 versions for me. So I want to say thank you, Scott. Really appreciate your help. So I show you the ending. What about your ending, okay, for your presentation? Your ending, you should think about the ending is, what do you want your management do? That's your ending. Your ending is, what do you want them to do, right? In general, you want them to do a couple things. You're like, hey, can you help me? Right? Is help needed? That's because you want budget or headcount. You want to ask for approval. You want their decision for your recommendation, right? So your ending, if you are asking for something, you need to start working on that. Literally at the end of the middle part, all right, down to the end. You need to start gently nudge them to the point that they can make a decision for you, right? The other one is, you are not asking for them for any help. Then you should commend the situation. You should tell them what you are going to do. You are not asking for approval. You are not asking for permission. You basically said, guess what? I'm going to tell you, this is what I'm going to do, all right? You set that expectation for the next phase. You also do a follow-up and say, we're going to have a meeting, you know, in 3 months, and these are the things I will do. And I will come back and do a report out, right? So the ending is really about, what do you want your management do? Then you structure your presentation logically based on what your senior managers care about, right? This is what I've been talking about in the past 25, 30 minutes. So you break down based on the categories you can define, and you focus on the insight they care about. What do they usually care about? They care about profit, they care about budget, they care about market segment share, they care about time to market, they care about customer retention, they care about risks, right? It's either revenue, cost, or risk. Talk from these perspectives. All right, Jody, can you start the poll? And I have one question to ask everyone. How many slides do you think that you should create? Jody, can you stop the polling?
Yep, I asked the question in the chat, so we're waiting for responses.
Oh, no, so sorry. I actually can launch this. Okay, guys, launch poll.
Oh, there we go.
Can you see it, everybody? All right.
Yep.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll. All right. So if you can see can everybody see my slides in terms of poll? Jody, can you see it? Eva?
Yeah.
Great. So most of the people basically say 6 to 10, 11 to 15, and some of them say
the results.
I need to say that again.
I can't see the poll results. Only you can.
Oh, all right. Now let's do that again. Can you do it? Can you see it? Share. Do I share the results? Okay.
There we go. Now I can see it.
There they are.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for helping me. All right. If you can see the sharing poll results, a lot of people say about 6 to 10 or 11 to 15. And in general, unless this is a huge project that you are working on, you usually get about 30 minutes or 60 minutes of the senior executive's time. If you do 30 minutes, 6 to 10 is about right. If you have about 60 minutes, I'm sorry, if you have 30 minutes, 6 to 10 slides is about right. If you have 60 minutes, I would say 11 to 20. It really depends on your management style. Some are very detail driven, then you probably have to provide a whole lot more information. Some of them prefer conversation, then you keep it high level. So now it comes to in terms of your management style, and I will touch a little bit about that, okay? But you know what? Everybody's answer to some extent is right. There's no right or wrong answer about this, okay? The next question I want to share, 1 second. I'm gonna close this. Is how should you manage Q&A? So now you are doing the presentation. How should you manage the Q&A? I have the second poll questions. Jody, do you want to start or should I?
I can't do it on my end.
You can? Let's see. God damn it. Sorry. I cannot find. Oh, shoot. Okay, got it. Polling. All right, Pam, come on, get this to work. I have a hard time clicking. Apologize. And you cannot do the, shoot. 1 second, everyone. I apologize. I cannot get my mouse to click on polls. Can you believe it? Way to go, Pam. Oh, God. Okay. I'll skip that one. Sorry. So the next poll is really, how do you manage the Q&A? Should you manage the Q&A in the middle, at the end, or throughout the presentation? In general, it really depends on your style, okay? If you are the type of person who want to be incredibly focused and you want to focus on your presentation the whole time, you can tell, you can basically save the Q&A section at the end. However, senior executives don't usually listen to us, okay? They want to ask questions, they ask questions. So my take on this is you don't really have a total control of how the Q&A is managed when you present it to, say, CEO, C-suite, or the VP level. They're going to ask questions. They more comment of your presentation than you are doing it. Therefore, when they ask questions, if it takes a long time, but here's the trick. If they asking a question that you are going to cover to a later slide, you can tell them, hold on your thought, I'll cover that in a later slide. You don't have to like really answer their question on the spot. Second, if you are to the end, if you are like, it's a 30-minute presentation, you're only going 2 slides and everybody's talking. You need to take control of the situation, basically say, I only have 15 minutes left and I have 5 slides I want to talk about. Can we hold on to that thought? I will definitely cover some of it, but I want to go through my presentation. You can interrupt them and tell them that. You can. Unless they can say, no, we want to talk about this. Then let it be. But make an effort to take back or take control of your presentation. Does that make sense? So, in terms of managing Q&A, it's kind of like arts and science. And you have to make a judgment call. Especially you have to look at the time, how much time you have left, and then determine. All right. Obviously, another thing is you need to know your senior managers well. In terms of what kind of questions they will ask, you need to anticipate, right? Also, attention span. The majority of the executives I have to deal with, they have attention span of a goldfish. I love them dearly, but you know what? The attention span is very, very short because there are so many things they have to do, they have to consider, they have to give advice. So the attention span is short, it's given, right? So that's why your opening is very critical. How do you set a stage into the middle? Because by the time you get to the middle, well, it's probably somewhere else already. So your opening is very critical. And also high level versus details. I have encountered some managers are very high level, some of them are very detailed. They want to see everything. So you need to understand their style. Another key point is have a data to substantiate your claim or your claims or your point of view, right? So if you said you need 5 headcounts, why? Do you have data to support it? What kind of analysis have you done? Do you have a third-party reference points, right? And the other one is their view of your projects. Do they like your project? Oh, this project has been like, really draining the company resources for 5 years. So get a sense. Sometimes they just don't like your project. Be honest with yourself about that too. That will guide you in terms of how you want to present, right? And but sometimes if this project is very important to them, they are very passionate about, then the way that you present that information will maybe a little bit different. So their view of your project's initiative, get a sense of that. And use the following whenever possible. This is nothing new. It's a friendly reminder. Use a visual, use a graph, use a chart, right? For example, we tend to do this. Senior manager care about revenue, cost, and risk. But again, can you do it like that? C-suites care about this, this, and this. Have a little bit of icon, have some of the key points, right? So this versus this. Again, right here, we are on track. And you want to talk about 6 bullet points. Don't do that. Can you do it this? From good to great, right? So your title should be something that can capture their attention. And then the 6 bullet points, I break it down to collaborate, build, integrate, enhance, focus, and optimize, right? So this is another way to present it that's much easier for them to comprehend. The visuals depends on what you want to communicate. For example, we want to increase the market share of our product. All right, we made that change. We want to, break even at a certain point. Well, yeah, at this time we broke even. We want to increase the revenue of this specific product, and we are showing the increase, the incremental increase over time. So visual is critical to show, especially in terms of trending. For more questions, I know you have more questions, please, you can join my Facebook community. Go to facebook.com and you can type build your marketing skills to get ahead. And that's my community. And it's very, very small community, right? I am not promoting it big time, so it's usually organic. If you are thinking about building your marketing skills, soft skills and hard skills, and this is the community. And you can also come to this community to download the templates. The templates I'm sharing with you today, you can download it in units. So go to units and actually download the templates, all right? And you can post any questions. I answer every single one of them.
And what if someone doesn't have a Facebook and they're looking for the slides or templates?
Send me an email, hello@pamdidner.com, and I will send it to you. Great question. Jody, thank you for injecting and share that. So if you don't have a Facebook, by the way, if you don't have Facebook, I respect that. I do. Facebook is, okay, that's a totally different perspective. I want to talk about it. If you don't have it, I totally respect that and good for you. And send me an email, I'll follow up. If you do join the Facebook communities and go to announcements tab, and I have a gift card right there, get yourself a toad Starbucks. It's on me, all right? And if you do that, take a photo, share with me. I also have a YouTube channel, right? I haven't done many videos in the past several weeks, but there are some stuff you can check it out. I usually talk about B2B stuff. And unfortunately, all of my peeps, my B2B peeps, they don't usually go to the YouTube channel to look for information. And I totally understand that. They like to read, you know? And, but I really try to create a YouTube channel and try to understand this channel and how to do a better job of it. Right, your personal communication style, right? You cannot change, okay? You can only refine your style, improve your style. We are who we are. I'm not here to ask you to change. So just be yourself, be comfortable, and be confident when you present, like what I'm doing right now, right? Just be yourself. The only way that you can be yourself and be confident is you prepare, practice, prepare, practice, prepare, practice. There's not much to it. Seriously, that is the only lesson I can share with you. If you want to do a good job in front of your senior manager, get a good deck, prepare, practice, prepare, and practice. There's not much to it. Okay, but be yourself. The next element is the frame, the view of your workspace, right? So that's my workspace. Okay, this is how I usually work. But when I present, as you can see, when I present, I move. I elevated my desktop, right? So you don't have to see the ceiling. You see the background. On top of it, guys, I also have the ring light. So I look good. So that's kind of important to actually have the lighting, like kind of shine on you so your face is not dark. Does that make sense? So I actually have two lighting that shine on me so you can see. Do I look good? All right, you probably think Pam is crazy. Yes, I know.
You look gorgeous, Pam.
Thank you, Jody. Love you. The view from your webcam, okay? Should you do audio or video? Definitely video, okay? Don't feel like, oh, I don't want to, I'm not comfortable in front of video. Well, get yourself comfortable. So if you have a choice of audio versus webcam, always do webcam. Stand up or sit down. I'm standing up. That's totally up to you. But if you think about it, if you do face-to-face communication and presentation in a conference in front of your senior managers, what do? You stand up. So stand up. Lighting matters. I talk about it. Real background versus virtual background. That's totally up to you, right? If your house is messy, well then use a virtual background. That's totally okay. It's totally up to you. Headset versus no headset. In general, headset is better in terms of sound quality. Okay. Here's the two kind of popular selfie ring light, which is what I show you right here, guys. And I found this one pretty nice. It's not expensive. I'm not affiliated with them. The other one is basically the portable, and you can find a clip that can clip into your PC on the top of your laptop. And then it's continuous portable photography lighting. But man, this lighting right here is so strong, it hurts my eyes. So personally, I don't like it. I bought it and I didn't like it that much, but you should try both of them and see what you prefer. So the key elements, really, 3, your presentation, your personal communication style, the frame, okay, or the view of your work space on webcam. The bottom line is focus on what you can control. These are the 3 things that you can control. Then do a good job and find a way to control that. The rest of it, let it be. Just let it be. You cannot control the dog barking in your executive's house. You cannot control the baby crying in their houses. You cannot control their Wi-Fi not working. You can. Focus on what you can control and do a great job on that. All right, again, you can download the template, right, and post any questions on the Facebook community. If you don't, reach out to me on email, hello@pamdidner.com, or any social media channels, please. And what can I do for you? I do quite a bit of speaking. Now I do speaking online. I do keynote workshop and training. So if you are training your sales and the marketing organization in terms of specific marketing topics, or even training on collaboration and communication, talk to me. And I also do a lot of mentoring and coaching of the seasoned or aspiring marketing professionals in terms of how to move your career up, and also how to get knowledge on different marketing disciplines. Consultings, I take on consulting projects, content marketing, sales enablement, account-based marketing, MarTech planning and the implementation, and also sales and marketing alignments, right? So there's another question I want to ask. Unfortunately, I cannot get it to work, but don't worry about it. The thing I want to share with everybody is 2 before I end this webinar. Another one, I have another webinar coming up on August, how to sharpen your strategic thinking skills. That's a wrap up of my strategic thinking series, okay? So that's the last one. And our teams are thinking about in terms of what the topics I want to address and share in September, October, and November. If you have a specific topic, please send it to me. We would like to take that into account, and we will make a decision within 2 weeks. So I usually try to make a decision in terms of for the next 3 months, what are some of the key topics and webinar I will talk, okay? So share with me if you have a specific topic. If I cannot talk about that topic, I will tell you. And if this is something that's interesting, and I'm more than happy to do my research and take it from there. All right. Any other questions, Jody, from your perspective that you can see on chat or the Q&A?
No questions that I can't answer.
Okay, very good. So everybody, I got 1 minute to go. So I want to say, see you at my Facebook community and the next webinar, right? Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Pam.